What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Comic Book Corner, brought to you by Graphic Heroes. Now, today's spotlight hero we're going to be taking a look at is actually a villain. This week in comics, Doomsday's making a comeback, and it is interesting to say the least. Now, I'm not going to dive too much into Doomsday's backstory. What I really want to talk about is what's going on in the comic books this week. We are seeing a whole nother side of Doomsday. But before we get into that, let me give a quick rundown of who Doomsday is, what he's about, what he's been up to, a little bit of his comic book history for anyone who might not know. Now, Doomsday got his start in '93 when he, ladies and gentlemen, killed Superman. That's right. You heard it here first. 20-something years later, Doomsday kills Superman. Now, the battle was iconic, and I think part of what made this thing pop off in a way that we really haven't seen before or since was it was a perfect storm of stuff. There really wasn't much going on in news that week, and so all the media outlets picked up the story and ran with it. It was the death of Superman, the most iconic character in comic book history, and he died in a way that was real. And I remember reading this as a child being floored. And he was gone. I mean, just gone. He was gone from the comics for, I think, about a year. And honestly, we had no idea he was coming back. He was gone. Put him in a grave. And they replaced him. They replaced him with all these other Supermen fighting for the mantle of it. And when Superman finally did come back, I mean, that's one of those events that, I would say profoundly shaped the way I engage with comic books today. It was real compelling content, to say that for the least. So anyway, we're not talking about the death of Superman, but we are talking about Doomsday, and that's where he got his start. And when he showed up on the scene, he was just this mindless beast, wanted nothing but blood and rage. He was there hell-bent on destruction. Now, we have seen Doomsday come back a few times, and what we later learned in the comics was every time you kill Doomsday, he evolves. He gets stronger, and you can't kill him the same way twice. So last year in the comics, we got this Superman Memorial, which was kind of a retelling of the Doomsday events. It was a 30th anniversary special. What? 30 years? Ladies and gentlemen. 30 years, yeah. So I guess this was like 2 years ago. No, or last year. No, 2 years ago. Time moves quick. I mean, this is one thing that is true. Time moves quick. It's relentless, so make sure you're doing what you love. And then last year in the comics, we got this Doomsday special. It was Doomsday in Hell, and the comic was really kind of good. It was a good special. I won't go into it, but I'll give you the gist of it. Doomsday's in hell, and they've been killing him for torturing and killing and re-killing and killing and re-killing until basically he's just so strong. Hell can't even contain him anymore, and hell is terrified of him in a way where they want him out. And that's Doomsday last year. So Doomsday this year is coming back into the comics, and the comic starts out with a brief reintroduction of his character. He lets us know that when he was originally created, his creators called him the Ultimate, and he was designed to be a weapon, a destroyer, an ender of all things. For hundreds and thousands of years, he moved from world to world and ravished them until he was killed. And each time he was killed, each death, he would evolve and change, never to be defeated the same way twice. And so, if you've watched the Superman and Lois series, they do their own version of Doomsday, but man, they really capitalize on that element of it, and it's great. Eventually, he met his end again with Superman, and that time he was renamed Doomsday. But the future knows me as the Time Trapper. I've faced the best and worst of time and space. Many efforts have been made to stop me. We're both survivors, Superman. You were created out of sacrifice and kindness, while I was created out of selfishness and cruelty. And we got this awesome 2-page panel of kind of the storyline of Doomsday, and it's great. You see the history. You see like the Hunter Prey Superman when he was going after Doomsday. You see this kind of Kingdom Come-esque version of Superman. You see the Solar Superman here, you know, Superman Prime. You see like the Legion of Superman back there in the background. And you get this sense that Doomsday has been being killed for thousands of years in many different universes, multiverses. And so this version of Doomsday, take a look at this guy. So interesting the way he's being drawn. He's almost, you know, monk-esque. I think the chains might be from his time in hell. There's fire kind of surrounding him and embers and stuff. And he kind of says to Superman, I've been killed so many times. I think that if I'm killed one more time, I'm literally going to come back as a god. And I'll be able to rule over everything and make things better. And so we're getting a very different version of Doomsday here. You know, the second time he came back and fought Superman, he was scared fighting Superman on some level because he was awoken to his own mortality. This version of him is like, how old is this Doomsday? Where is he coming from? He's able to traverse time and space. And, you know, he basically says, you're not I ended up in the wrong time period. I was expecting a different version of you, Superman. I see you still have both of your eyes. I guess you haven't met, Zod hasn't come back again. And then he says, horrors await you. Lives will be lost. You're going to be tested in ways you've never been tested before, but you'll survive as you always do. However, I can't say the rest of your allies are going to be as lucky. And then Superman gets pretty angry and flies at Doomsday, who quickly dispatches him. I mean, right by the neck, right? And he goes, listen, I may be evolved, but I'm not above physical violence. And he swallows Superman into the freaking pavement, you know? And then he's gone. Doomsday just disappears. It's almost like he disappears. And then we get this other version of Doomsday pops up on the next panel, and we have Superwoman, who is actually Lois Lane in the comic books right now. Not Supergirl, Superwoman is Lois Lane. And Lois and Clark, Superman, are fighting another version of Doomsday. I'm not entirely sure whether this is right after what just happened or we're like cut into another time, right? And they're whomping Superman. The art in this is just great. You feel the blows, ladies and gentlemen. And Doomsday is literally covered in fire, right? Those flames, they're not normal. It's hellfire. And then we got these Doomsday dogs, these hellhounds, which I think are coming from hell, man. We're seeing the Doomsday who escaped hell in this, right? With the dogs he's probably brought with him. John Henry Irons is on the scene. He's helping out. We got just the city is getting destroyed. Doomsday grabs hold of Lois on the shoulder, really hurts her, which pretty much pisses Superman off. I mean, you do a lot of things, but don't touch my girl. And he gives Doomsday just a hammer to the face. And then we cut to, now I've been a little out of the comics, I'm not going to lie. Batman's here with his kind of updated version of the Justice League. And check this out. Parasite is here to be a hero. That's right, Parasite. The villain Parasite is part of his, you know, Suicide Squad Justice League. being a hero. So I guess, the opposite is true. If you can be a hero long enough to turn into the villains you're after, I guess you can be a villain long enough to turn into the hero, which seems to be pretty trendy these days. I'm not complaining, I'm just noting it, but sure, Loki's a hero, Venom's a hero, Parasite's a hero, ladies and gentlemen. It's not too long before Joker's a hero, Thanos is a hero, and the whole rest of the villain squads are heroes. Anyway, whatever. I've been out of the comics, so Parasite's a hero now. He's coming in to save the day. He grabs hold of this OP Doomsday and starts sucking his life force out, because anyone who doesn't know Parasite literally sucks. He's kind of like Rogue. He doesn't suck the power necessarily. He kind of does. Yeah, maybe he does. He's kind of like Rogue. He sucks the life force and energy out of the thing and kind of gets that. So he's sucking Doomsday off. Pause. And Superman's like, yo, don't kill him, right? We don't want him to evolve again. And then Doomsday just grabs Parasite and whoosh, he rips him in half. Ladies and gentlemen, Doomsday rips Parasite in half. And I don't know, did we have comics like this when I was a kid? Yeah, we definitely did. But all the same, this is violent, this is graphic. You see intestines here. I mean, you see intestines here, and Superman's face is like, yo, what just happened? Just the utter shocked look on Superman's face to see Rudy ripped in half. Superman just flies off the handle, starts smashing Doomsday. Now, we got a weaker Doomsday at this point, so Superman's doing some major damage to the guy. And but then something weird happens. The lady's yelling at Superman, hey, you need to calm down, your red levels are up. Now, again, I'm a little out of the loop with some of the current comic stuff, so I'm not entirely sure what they're talking about, red levels. If you know what red levels mean, please comment in the section below, fill me in so I don't gotta go hunting for it, or let me know where to find it. But you can see on his face, there's like, it's not exactly electricity. Boy, I hope we're not going to red and blue Superman again. But anyway, Doomsday has been neutralized, not killed, but neutralized. And then Lois flies in, Superwoman, grabbing Clark, whose hands are just covered in blood. And again, Rudy is torn apart, guts everywhere, and they fly off. Whoa! Ladies and gentlemen, easy on that page turn. I don't know who is drawing Lois Lane these days, but they're having way too much fun of it. I mean, this is not appropriate, what I'm looking at. Should I even... can I even show this? I gotta censor this. Anyway, you take a look. I mean, yo, Superwoman. And so that happens, this scene, pillow talk, blah, blah, blah. And then we get to the last page here where clearly we're not on Earth anymore. We're somewhere. And here's what it says. That's scarier than Doomsday. The ultimate has returned. We've waited long enough for this. It's time for our revenge. And then you see this cloaked figure who's donning the original mask of Doomsday. He's putting it on, no matter the cost. Yo, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This looks sick. I mean, look. His beady little red eyes. Those terrifying eyes. Well, Doomsday's back, and I'm super compelled by this content. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. I like it a lot. We got a time-traveling Doomsday who is here to just turn into a god, essentially. He wants ultimate power, and so the question's going to be, how does Superman stop him without killing him, but stop him? Definitely coming back for Superman All In number 21. That'll be next week. Hoping that's next week. And I hope you tune in with me next week when we get to that. Hope you like this. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's build this channel up. And let's see where they take this Doomsday character.